Celtics in action. That's Marcus Smart. How do you think GameTime logo would look in my hair? Not good?
I think that's a good teammate.
I have enough.
If you do that.
Kyrie, after missing 2 with the left eye, returns. And the Nets get at it. But so does Kyrie. Easy. Nice find from Smart. Lead 5. Off the turnover, some work from Jason Tatum going the other way. Zeke, how about Tatum here after all that he did last year and trying to follow that up?
I think he's having a good second year. However, the expectations of being better than you were the first year, that's always going to be tough for that second-year player because, his name is on the board. But I like the way he's handled it and the way he's come out, and he's having a good second year.
Scary Terry, the lay-in, lead 11. Nets get back in it. They always seem to do that. Kenny Atkinson's club plays hard. Shabazz Napier, the 3. How about Jared Allen? Speaking of hair. Napier at 10 points, 5 boards, 6 assists, and then some work, Candace, from Kyrie here.
Well, Kyrie, obviously, finishing ability. Oof. He has multiple ways he can finish around the basket and not giving up a lot of size at that.
Nice look. Daniel Tice there for the dunk. Kyrie 17, 6, and 3 steals. And then Scary Terry, open. He had 10. I love this kid in college. Robert Williams, you want to talk about athleticism and throwing it down at Texas A&M.
Oh, yeah.
This dude can get up.
Not only can he get up, but his shot blocking ability is untimely. He has great timing. Most people, they can block, with one hand. He get it left hand and right hand.
All right, Celtics get a win, 116-95. The final.
And Clemson just scored again?
Yes, but we're not watching.
Yeah.
Detroit basketball. Dwayne Casey and DeMar DeRozan reunited. Spurs get Blake and the Pistons. He'll want to watch this in the iPad. 3, and a timeout from Pop. Some work to be done. And then the tag team partner inside. How about Drummond continuing to grow as a player and get better?
Well, I think Blake has helped that development. It's allowed Drummond to push Drummond to stay, obviously near the basket. Blake makes him better by assisting him. He moves without the ball well. He's really improved this year.
I also think the little back and forth between him and Embiid has also, made him up his game a little bit too.
DeMar DeRozan upping his game. By the way, not good to have a 20-2 run if you're the other team. That's what happened here. DeRozan had 11, lead 12. They outscored the Pistons 34-20 in the second quarter. Patty Mills lead 8 at the break. Then more. Blake Griffin, Zeke, showing the crossover.
Yeah, the thing that we didn't know about Blake when he came into the league, he didn't have these kind of handles, and you always wondered, what was his work ethic like. But now Blake really has everything. So every year he's added something new to his game to make him better.
DeRozan inside the lane. Goody had 26, 7 boards, 9 assists, lead 12. L.A., LaMarcus Aldridge closing it out. Little Tim Duncan bank shot. Hezzy. And a lay-in. He had 25. Greg Popovich ties Jerry Sloan, 3rd most wins in NBA history. Yet another.
All he does is win, 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 win.
And DJ Khaled is looking for his royalties. Meanwhile, saving us, here's DeMar DeRozan.
What was it like to go against your old coach? Was it a little weird?
Yeah, it's definitely weird. Playing with him for the majority of my career to go out here competing against him. It's always fun, but it was definitely weird.
That's the question I had for him. Your mindset going into the month of January had to be different. You got your former team and your former coach all in a matter of, about a week here?
Oh, yeah. It's exciting. You got to get up for moments like that to be able to compete, see guys on the other side, and, go out there and kind of be on the opposite sides and kind of talking trash and try to get some brownie points on your end.
Talk about some of the no calls that you're getting right now, because it seems to me that you've had that pull through, the little Euro step, and you've been getting raked across your arms a few times. Has Pop said anything to you about those situations to keep playing through them?
Just keep going. Just keep going. It's going to turn when need be. Just still be aggressive. Don't let that deter me away from my aggressiveness. And, it'll definitely come.
Are you actively, at the beginning of games, it seems to me like you're trying to get the other guys involved first, and then you're starting to look for your shot secondly?
Oh, yeah, I always know when I can get my shot off, when I can kind of pick up my aggressiveness. But it's all about getting them other guys going, having them have a rhythm, because they open up and make my game a lot easier.
Well, DeMar, this is the 5th game in a row the team has won, the longest winning streak of the year. Nice to get it on the road, just the 7th road win. You guys have been closing the gap recently. You had a big one out at L.A. What's been the difference with the team's better play away from home?
We're more conscious of it. Understanding it's just us when we go on the road. We got to generate our own energy, and that's what we've been doing, trying to come out, be aggressive, not really get caught up into the crowd or the referees or whatever they got going on. Make it all about us, understanding what we need to do when we're out there on the court.
Also seemed to be a big emphasis in the rebounding game tonight, because that has been a problem in the last couple of losses on the road.
For sure. Especially coming out battling against, Drummond and Griffin tonight, you definitely got to be conscious of trying to get them rebounds. And we always at our best when we're able to rebound and get out and transition and play.
What can you say? I mean, forget about just from a basketball standpoint, one of the greatest coaches in the 4 major sports of all time, and Greg Popovich, who continues to go up the list. And we sit here, Zeke, and it's like every year, I always say this when Smitty is sitting here, because he played for every year, is this the best job that he's done? They got off to, with all the injuries, a great start. And to me, we said that, but now I'm more impressed, because they look like they were going totally the other way. Outmatched, overmatched. Their leading scorer was Jakob Poeltl. Nothing wrong with that Poeltl family, but not a Spurs team we know of. And then they somehow found a way to get back off the mat yet again and be right back in the mix.
I said this earlier about he and Doc Rivers this year. I think they're having the most fun coaching this year than they've had in the previous years, because in previous years they had guys that knew the system, understood how to play, what to do, so forth and so on. Now this year they really get a chance to coach again, right? They get a chance to teach, they get a chance to direct, they get a chance to take a young player and grow them. And that's really exciting for the coaches. And I marvel at Pop's stamina over the years, that he's been able to night in and night out show up without, game soreness, without taking the night off.
General soreness.
And just showing up every night for his team.
Yes, there's the general that Shaq knows, and then there's General Soreness, which is in Philadelphia. We've got more coming up. Speaking of issues, how about Minnesota?
Man up.
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil, where are you at? This show should be on Bravo. Take us, right?
Yeah, and the thing about not being normal, and I can speak, with Candace and we're talking about Luka here, you don't realize, like, you're not normal. You thinking in your mind, like, oh, man, they trusted me with the ball at the end of the game. And believe it or not, you sitting over there like, oh, man, I hope I don't miss.
Because you're 19.
Because you're 19,
yeah.
And you don't want, and then you're playing with older guys, and when you're in the locker room with older men or older women, and you're like the youngest, they can beat you up.
Right.
So if you mess up, like when I threw the ball away in Boston, right? I remember all the guys walking by me, and you would think they'd be like, oh, yeah, that's all right. They walked by me and was like, I mean, didn't nobody speak to me?
Yeah.
I mean, so having that pressure at a young age and being able to handle it and deal with it and then come through, that is truly big time.
They did not expect, obviously, to play as well, I don't think, as we're seeing them play this year. Talk about the Western Conference. But Dennis Smith Jr., I think, has to be discussed, because it looks like, Candace, he's getting more comfortable. But I understand, human element, people don't want to talk about, because athletes, they think this is, to me, this human element. You're the man. You get drafted. You come in. Even if the team stinks, you're the future. Here comes Luka Doncic. He's better than you.
Yeah.
He's better than you in year 1 than you are in year 2. You know that. Your family members know it, even if they don't admit it. That's not an easy thing to handle. It seems like he's more comfortable on the floor now than maybe he was a month ago, but do you see those two guys being able to play together as this team moves forward?
Well, everybody that had him on the trading block, I mean, Dallas hasn't admitted it, but whether they're fielding calls or not for him, are you going to get better by trading him? Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest question. If you're trading him for a draft pick, is the draft pick coming in going to do better than what he's doing? And honestly,
fit better.
Exactly, and he's increased his three-point production. I mean, he's shooting nearly 37% from the three-point line. So you need a combo guard next to Luka that's going to be able to kind of guard that point guard position, slide over and have the ball, because you like Luka coming off of down screens as well. You want to be able to share that responsibility. So in terms of growth, if he can continue to grow, I don't see a better player for that position next to Luka.
And I got Luka at the 4 anyway, but to your point, going back to Jokic, of who's the ball handler, and we see this. I mean, look, when LeBron was there without Rubio, and then Rubio came back, it was a question I had. I mean, it looked like LeBron being LeBron for a while, and then it's like, no, Rubio, excuse me, Rondo. Then I'm like, okay, well, now Rondo's back. How does that all work? When you look at the two, and you look at Dennis Smith, very talented player, do they fit if you're sitting there as somebody who's built organizations looking at these two moving forward?
Talent-wise, they fit.
Yeah.
Skill-wise, they fit. We don't know the
coming?
personality
Yeah.
that they each have in the locker room in terms of being teammates. And, you know, one is going to have to sacrifice for the other to shine at different parts of the game, different parts of the season. And I can only go back to my experience, and most people probably think I'm going to say Joe Dumars, but I'm not. I'm going to say Vinnie Johnson. Because Vinnie Johnson, you know, in practice every single day was the best guard. He was killing me, he was killing Joe. But for the team to be at its best, Vinnie Johnson took a role coming off the bench as a sixth man, and he played his 12 to 24 minutes some nights. Very rarely did he get the 36 to 38 minutes. But as a person, as a human being, as a teammate, he took his role, excelled in it, and that's why we were able to become so good as a backcourt, Joe and I, because of Vinnie Johnson. Now, if Smith accepts his role next to Luka, then those two as a backcourt can be pretty dynamite.
It's quite a beginning for this team as they move on to kind of like the